Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Connected. My name is Marie Hall. I'm the visionary founder. And we just want to say we have missed you guys. We weren't able to get on last month because of some challenges that we were having. But just know that we love you guys and appreciate you guys. And we have missed you, and we have an exciting show for you tonight. Listen, tag your mama, tag your dad, tag all your friends that have children, and you know that they need to hear this conversation. Do not wait. Go ahead and tag them now. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to go ahead and apologize in advance in case we hurt any feelings through this conversation, but we're going to have a real conversation. As always, Connected strives to connect people, to connect the school, and to connect the community. Our organization is built upon the foundation that we are striving to bridge the gap that exists between our parents and the school and the community. We're going to be having some real events coming soon and some other great things coming over to your way. So you want to be looking out for that. We're getting ready to create a connected page where we'll have tips and tools and short little videos that we'll be sharing with you guys. But right now, I want to allow my co-hosts to introduce themselves. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
Hello. I'm Portia Jackson Vega. I have missed you, absolutely missed you. Happy to be back. But I'm an educator for 16 years and middle school teacher, teach reading and social studies, and happy to be here.
Awesome.
Good evening, everyone. Courtney Gaines. I am also an educator of 24 years and missed you all, and I'm excited about tonight. So let's really get into it, ladies.
Awesome. So tonight our topic is I am not your friend. So I know a lot of people was asking me, what are y'all talking about? I'm not your friend. So I'm going to start by prefacing it this way. Many of us want to be friends with our children. We want to hang out with them. We want to act like we buddies, pals, best friends. But I want to tell you that is not the right way to think about that. And I'm going to start with this video that I saw on TikTok. And ladies, I want you guys to chime in. So I love TikTok, and I watch some videos on there. And this particular video, I don't know if y'all know they have the little note cards where they put little things on, and then the person has to choose a card, and then they keep doing that until they get all these wonderful gifts or dinner or a movie or different things like this. So it was like a 2-year-old child. No, she probably was like 3 or 4, really. And so her mother had 2 cards in her hands, and the cards were the same. Take your butt to bed, take your butt to bed. So she didn't know that. So the child selected one of the cards and then read it. And then she proceeded to put up her middle finger.
What?
And yes, I don't know if they were doing that to get likes, to get, some shine, to get like viral, but the mother thought that that was funny. I did not think that that was funny at all. And it showed a sign of disrespect, and that you're thinking this stuff is cute, but later on it's going to turn around and bite you in the behind. So I wanted to hear what you guys thought about that.
Well, as soon as you said that it was going to come back to bite them, that was the exact thought that I had. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's cute right now at this little age, but when we continue to laugh and keep thinking it's cute and not correct the behaviors, then they grow up continuing to think, oh, this is what I can do. This is what I can get away with. And this is what makes me look cute because my mommy laughs and smiles when I do it. So, yeah, I'm with you, Marie. I don't quite like that response as well.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
To me, that's our title. I am not your friend. It sounds like the two of them are friends. And we know I think, essentially when a parent is saying they want to be friends with their child, you're really saying, I'm not going to be a parent. So that means those critical foundational skills that's needed are not established. So when they come into the school system, we have to wear all these hats to get the child ready to learn. It's a lot that has to take place because the parents didn't do what they needed to do to get them ready because they're so busy being friends and doing stupid stuff on TikTok.
Right.
So no.
Yeah.
So
I have a question.
uh-huh.
Go ahead. I was about to say, I have a question for you all. How
Okay.
old do you think you were when you became your mom's or your parents' friend?
Grown.
Never.
I was not. I
I'm
think
this year's old.
Yeah. There are levels to it, I think. Like I think 0 to 5, you're 100% dependent. And then you get a little bit older. The relationship changes. Mom and dad are still in control. But as you get older, you get out of the house, you get your own, place and job. The relationship just kind of changes, but mom is still mom and in charge is still in charge. There's a level of respect there that never goes away. But they're wise and they've been through everything. So, it's not friendship. It's just more, they give better advice and it's just good for us to listen. But like I said, if that foundation is not established, they're in trouble.
Exactly.
So my parents are deceased, but I can tell you my mom was never my friend in the sense that I could just say whatever I wanted to her and I could do whatever I wanted to do around her and she would not, admonish me or look at me in the side eye. You know how mamas do. Mama give you that look. Like you better get yourself together. And my son is 26 years old and I will give him that look or I'll be like, listen here, I'm not your friend. So you better bring that tone all the way down and you better get yourself together and you better act like you got, my mama used to tell me all the time, I brought you in and I will take you out.
That's right.
So I don't know about this new age parenting. And we see it all the time in schools where now you're 5 and you're acting up, you're acting out, and the parent doesn't believe that their child is doing anything. Well, I don't do that at home. We don't see that at home. That's not happening at home. Well, it's happening at school, and it's not until they get older, and we're seeing this more and more. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. And now they don't know what to do. Now they're coming back to the school. Oh, I don't know what to do. Help me. I can't control him or her. And now we're seeing a lot of them taking to the streets and now using guns.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just like what Portia was saying, they provide that foundational piece for us. So if that's not there and it's intact, I mean, children always are screaming out and crying for structure. They need structure as they're growing up and learning. That's the part of the raising, So if we don't provide that for them, they're going to seek and find it in other ways that definitely will not be beneficial to them nor to us as a society. So I think that's what really is starting to happen. It's okay to put structure in place. It's okay to put some restrictions in place. That's not anything bad, So that's what they seek and that's what they need. And then when you get older, then the relationship develops into something a little different. Hopefully a friendship at some point. But even if it's not, like Marie said, no, that didn't happen. It's okay because she gave what she needed to give to you when she did.
Exactly.
I don't think there's anything wrong with, wanting a close personal relationship between parent and child. But children need boundaries. They need, structure so that, they can function. We know kids function best when there's a structure in place. But when there isn't, what you're saying is you're allowing all outside forces to have an effect on your child because you didn't do what needed to be done to prepare your child. We have to prepare children for the future and for everything that's happening in today's society. And to do that, it begins with that critical foundational structure.
You said something key right there that you need to provide a structure. And I'm just going to just say this and piggyback right off of you. Without structure is chaos. And with chaos, there's no control. And without control, then now you just doing anything and running amok. I've been in so many grocery stores, so many malls, so many restaurants where kids are cussing out parents. Where they do that at? Kids are telling parents to shut up. Kids are telling parents what they're not going to do. I wish I would. I would have been on the floor somewhere. And we probably would have thought that was child abuse now, but I would have been on the floor somewhere. But it didn't take that much because my mama just looked at me and I know, get yourself together.
Right.
Yep, for sure. I mean, it goes back to that whole quote that says, you know, if the child doesn't have that warmth and nurturing in the beginning, they're going to burn down the village in order to feel the warmth. So we have to make sure that we're giving them what they need and not just letting go so early on and thinking that it's cool to do that and just to, you know, again, be your friend. And there's not any, rules to life. And there is.
There absolutely is. And, you know, when I think about the word friendship, that's someone that celebrates my highs, you know, can console me when I'm down and going through issues. A child cannot step into adult shoes. You know, they can't console me. And should a child know about adult issues? No.
No. You know, we were always told to stay in a child's place, right? So
right,
we
exactly.
need, you know, I think that's what parents have to remember. It's okay for them to stay in a child's place. I work with many students that know beyond a lot of things happening in their households that they really should not know. It's like you are 8, 9 years old. You should not have to worry about some of the things that you know about and that you're concerned with. And it breaks my heart to no end because, again, they're not allowed to be children because they're being brought into that adult arena and that adult space.
Right.
But you said something that was key that, you know, we weren't even allowed in the conversation. And I think that's part of the problem now. Too many children are privy to what's happening in the home and what's going on in the home. And now they become adult-like because now they're repeating what they hear. They're doing the same things that their parents are doing or saying. And adults are feeling like this is okay.
Yeah. And then I can't stand it when I'm meeting or talking with parents and the children are calling them by the first name.
Ooh.
You know, and the disrespect is just blatant to everybody. And then you understand, oh, this is why I'm having so many issues. Because they don't respect the parent. Children need parents. They need parenting, and there's a difference. I don't know if the parents think they're still young and they don't want to take on their responsibility because they're still out in the streets. I just don't know. But I know that if we don't start to discipline our kids, that school to prison pipeline is going to continue its course. We're just going to lose as a race. We're going to lose. You know, our job as educators, we got to steer them in the right direction. But they're sending their kids to school, and I know they're sending the best that they have. But we're having to be the mom. We got to be the counselor. We got to be all these hats before we can educate them. And then, you know, we got to correct them when they're wrong and send them on their way. It's too much. We need parents to be parents.
You're absolutely right. Courtney, could you share the link to my page? For some reason, it's not connecting, and some people are asking me, are we live? And I'm like, yes, we're live, but it's not connecting on my page. I shared the YouTube link. Um, but you're absolutely right. We do have to begin to take things back. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that we need to take control again, take the reins back so that we can lead the household. Nowadays, kids are leading the household, not
Yeah.
parents. Kids are saying what they're going to do, what they want, when they're going to go to bed, how they're going to go to bed, when they're going to school. So, because when you have that friend mentality, it's like we're on an equal playing field. And at no time are you on an equal playing field with your parents. Even if your relationship develops into something else as you grow older, which it does, but at no time are you on an equal playing field. Your parents are your parents. And I know I was, and I'm sure you all were too, taught to show respect, taught to show honor, taught to say yes ma'am, no sir, yes sir. You're speaking with someone with a title in front of their name, not just Courtney, not just Portia, but that's Miss Courtney, that's Miss Portia, that's Mr. John, or that's Uncle so and so. You're not just saying Johnny, but you know that's your uncle. No, you're putting the correct title in front of someone's name. So I think somewhere, I don't know when it happened, but somewhere throughout these years, we're losing honor, we're losing respect. And we need to bring that back. We don't even have respect when we come in the schools, parents, and this ain't got nothing to do with I'm not your friend, but we just doing whatever when we come into school. Kids arguing with parents when they in the school in front of staff. And that's okay. And we're looking like that's not okay. And we're stepping in, becoming the parent at that point, telling children, you can't talk to your parents like that. Not in front of us.
Right.
No boundaries.
No boundaries.
There's just no boundaries.
So I'm wondering, y'all, like when Marie said, when did this change? I question this a lot. So is it because, some people, when they're like, when I get my own kids, I'm not gonna do or treat them like my mama treated me. So they maybe misunderstood the structure and boundaries and stability that their mom or their parents were trying to put in place, and they felt it was so restrictive. So then they grew up and had their own, and probably were like, well, okay, I know this is what I'm gonna change. I'm not gonna, be as restrictive. I'm not gonna make them do the things that I had to do when I was growing up. Do y'all agree with that?
Or is that just rhetoric? Because I know growing up, in Cordele, Georgia, it's a small town. Everybody was your parent. Everybody could beat your butt. You got home and got another butt whipping. And I used to say the same thing when I grew up. I can't wait to get out of here. But now as an adult, I long for that village that raised me.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're missing.
We are missing the village.
You touch somebody's now you're going to jail.
Right.
You've been sued. Yes. I think that just may be rhetoric, because those guidelines and boundaries and rules, that structure that we had in place growing up was to protect us. It was to prepare us for our future as adults. Because without it, you're just wild and you go down a path that you just can't easily come back from.
Right.
I agree. I also agree with what Courtney said as well. It's just, I don't know how, I don't know if we need to have more parenting classes, like Parenting 101, because we have many young women that are now mothers. And so maybe we need to have more parenting classes. We have a lot of grandmothers that are young. And so I think that it's up to us, our generation and the generation before us, to step back in and help those that are coming up. We're losing. I think I heard one of you guys say that we're losing our own race. And if we don't take the reins again, we are going to find ourselves in a really bad predicament where we don't have anyone that has enough understanding of honor and respect. I mean, like, it doesn't just go with parents. This is like across the board. Nobody has respect for church. No one has respect for elders. You see kids out and about and they see an adult and they don't care. They just cursing, they doing whatever. Like when I was a kid, when I saw an adult, I was straightening up. I was like, oh, hold on, let me get myself together. Because if I don't get myself together, someone in this community is getting ready to check me. But nowadays, you can't even get students or children in order. If you say something to a child, not a parent is cussing you out, even though you might be right and you're only trying to do some correction, but no one wants correction anymore.
Right. No. So where does it start? Like, because we need help. We are losing our race, I think. We are.
Yeah.
And, it's like FUBU. It's got to be for us, by us. Nobody else cares about us. We got a lot of fathers that are MIA, they're in prison or they're just absent. We got to bring it back together somehow, because that's where this "I am not your friend" comes from. It's a lack of family.
It's the same with mothers too. Now I'm seeing, Portia, there are a lot of missing mothers missing from the picture. These children are unfortunately having to be raised, like literally forcefully being raised by grandparents, because there's no other choice.
Ooh, yes, and grandparents are tired.
They're tired.
Old, and they're they can't do anything with these kids.
Right. They can't understand them.
No, that's why you hear, I can't do this new math. I can't do the new math. What new math? It's just strategies. It's no new math. It's just
right.
strategy.
What's that TikToking thing?
Yeah. But I mean, it has to start with us, because we know better. We were raised a certain type of way. But today, like Courtney just said, TikTok is raising kids. Instagram is raising kids. Twitter is raising our kids, and whatever other social media that they have out there. YouTube is raising our kids. Our kids are on social media more than anything else. And I got to see what the statistics is on that. But I guarantee, and we see it in the schools, if we take these kids' phones or tell them to put this phone up, they are having a fit. They are having a fit.
And the parents will come up there about a phone.
Yeah.
We'll call about grades.
Yeah.
And then I can sit down and talk to you.
Exactly. And sometimes you almost have to take the phone in order to be able to have them come up to have that discussion, right? But in the counseling field, we've been discussing literally for the last good 5 years about the addiction to phones and addiction to social media. And unfortunately, as adults, we are allowing that addiction to just blow up even more because we're using the screens as a babysitter. So we have, that's part of it. That's a definitely big step to take. Limiting that and engaging with our kids, engaging with the youth, so that we're not talking at them, but talking with them and to them.
Yes, I agree. But in saying that, talking with them, we have to now show parents how to do that, because parents don't even know how to have a conversation with their own children, let alone with another adult. We're seeing more combativeness, more defensiveness, especially in school. Like, you can't even get a word out. They already are coming to the school upset. over something that
Yes.
happened with their children because
Mm,
they've placed their children in a friend zone. No, we're
yeah.
not going to harm your child. We're here to protect your children, to make sure that your children are safe and that they have a fun, engaging learning environment. But in order for us to do that, we have to have a certain level of respect.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
And
tell
parents, we're not the enemy.
no.
We came into this profession because we want to see children win and succeed.
Yes.
And so the mindset a lot of times is just kind of twisted. Yeah, they come in angry and you're like, why are you angry? Do you know let me see you sit in the room with 30 kids and see how your management style goes. But I mean, I have a question too. Can you discipline a child if you're that as a parent, if you're that child's friend? Can you,
Mm.
because to me those lines are blurred.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard. That's hard. I mean, literally, how many of us, we talked about before goals. That was the last session that we really focused on, right? And so when we talk about accountability, we already knew there were certain friends that we could not go to for accountability. Am I right? Because they're enablers.
Right.
So the same thing with the parent. You cannot look to your parent for accountability and to correct your behavior and make sure you're on the same, on the right track if they are part of the enabling crew with your friends at times.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you really can discipline if I'm your friend.
But how, okay, so I heard you say something about being an enabler. So if you're an enabler, you are for what is not right. You are
Yeah.
for whatever is going on. And so often, and I don't know, you guys can tell me if you agree or disagree and what you see in schools and what we have to go through on a daily basis when we see or understand that children are the friends of their parents or parents are the friend of their children. They always are so aggressive towards the school.
Always.
And I think Courtney said they don't take time to listen or have a conversation with. It's just automatic. You did this, and this, and now I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm upset because you did this, and this, because you believed everything that your child was saying, not realizing that your child could have been manipulating the situation. Your child could have been trying to control the situation because children, listen, I was a child. I was manipulative when I was a child. I knew how to play my mama and my daddy when I needed to. Okay. So kids are very cunning and very, very smart, and they're getting smarter with this social media. But if we're not taking those things from our children, maybe we don't want to be bothered. Maybe we don't have time. Maybe we're going through our own challenges, but we have to realize and recognize that we have to train our children. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. So when he gets older, he shall not depart. So if we're training up our children, how are we training up our children? That's my question. How are you training up your child? Which way do you want your children to go? Because it's going to go this way or this way, depending on how you're training up your child.
Well, what is this, fourth, fifth generation of children not being raised?
Exactly. I mean, it begs to question, when do we hit that rock bottom so that we can come back up, to the rightful place? But I feel like we've hit it. Every time I feel like we've hit it, then there's something else lower that happens, So I don't know, y'all. It's a really hard thing unless people really take a moment to have a look in the mirror and really think, how am I as a parent? But just like Marie was saying, our children are smart and they bank on our inconsistency. I've had students tell me quite a bit, oh, my mama's gonna believe me. They're not gonna, she's not gonna believe you. She's gonna believe me, the kind of thing. So right then and there, I can see now how you're gonna manipulate this and how this is gonna go.
Baby, they be like daring you to call her. Call her.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to call them. I want you to call my mama because
Yes.
I already know what she gonna say, and I already know what she
Yep.
gonna do, and da 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 da. Okay.
Yes.
But I truly, truly, firmly believe if a child is to grow up in a safe environment, they need to know that someone is in charge.
Yes.
They have to know that there's a person that's going to set these rules and these boundaries and lay this foundation out for me, and they're going to expect, that's the expectation. But we know that, look at these examples you're giving. And I'm laughing, but it's the truth. Kids have figured, they've learned how to play the game. Social media has made them quite clever. But there has to be a hard stop somewhere and say, okay, let's dial this back. And like you said, maybe it's classes, seminars, or, a meet and greet, or have a cup of coffee. I don't know. But we got to find a way we got to reach parents. We got to reach parents because that's where it starts. We can't do it. By the time they get to us, there are just certain things that has to be in place in order for them to be successful in school.
But the thing is, Portia, I hear you too. Like, I would love to see parenting classes or parent support groups and all those kind of things. But how do we engage with those parents that need it? Because then the big issue that comes into place is pride. That whole pride thing. They're too prideful to even admit that they're not in control of their household and what's going on with their own children because because their children consider them to be their friend. So how do we even engage those parents that need that kind of support? Like, how do we make it appetizing enough for them to join it?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. And let's just face facts here. A lot of our parents, especially parents of our most disruptive students, they didn't graduate from high school.
True.
So they don't even know the value of an education. So they, if your parent don't value it, they don't instill it in you to value it. And so the cycle continues.
And that could be for a number of reasons. So what I hear you saying, Portia, is very, 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 it's a touchy situation because based on parents' experiences in their education, when they went to school, they feel a certain type of way about school. But I want to also touch upon that pride because we're, our Black and brown people, we're very prideful. We have a lot of pride. We were taught to be proud. We were taught, not to let people know when we're struggling, not to let people know when we hurt, not to let people know when we're worried, stressed, depressed. All of those things we're taught to be strong, especially us Black women. We are taught to be strong and not taught to be allowed to be weak and to let someone know that we need support. And I think it's very important in this time and in this day in 2023 that we are supporting our parents in parenting their children. And in order to do that, I heard Courtney say something about need. We got to start meeting the needs. Yes. We cannot educate children. We cannot make an impact. We cannot make change until we begin to meet the needs of the family, of the home environment. And I think it's so important when we talk about parents being friends with their children. How can we really meet a need that is going to build trust, build that relationship with the parent so that they're more apt to, listen to us and take advice from us, not so much that we're trying to tell them what to do, but giving them guidance giving them that support that they need, because in the long run, what we are seeing and what we said earlier is the fact that down the line, when the child gets 10, 11, 12, 13, we're seeing that now the child is out of control and they can't control the child anymore, and they don't know what to do with the child. And we're seeing this play out on the news.
Absolutely.
And on
I think that's
national
why this topic came up.
television, it's playing out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
So what do we do? Where do we start? How do we start? Parents, if you're on this live, give us some comments. How are you feeling about being a friend with your children? Some people think it's perfectly natural. It's okay. I want my child to be my friend, and that's okay. But I heard Portia say it needs to be some boundaries. It needs to be boundaries, because I said it before, there's no level playing field. You're not equal with your parents.
No.
And you never will be equal with your parents. It's always got to be a level of respect and honor there. And honestly, we've lost the honor and respect for any adult.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if it's not there for the parent, who are the initial teachers of it all, then no, it's not going to be there for any other adult. And I think that's what makes me afraid for our kids, because within the four walls of school, we can help correct the behavior. And I even break it down and tell my students why I'm correcting their behavior and why it's inappropriate and what should be done. But when they're outside of those four walls and they come up against another adult that's just out in the street, then what? Then it becomes a bigger problem. I don't know about you all, but I really honestly felt secondhand embarrassment about hearing about the fights at Six Flags on the opening weekend the other weekend. That just really, I don't know, like my initial feeling and reaction to it was secondhand embarrassment, because I know it just, those families were trying to have a good time. And then all of a sudden fights are breaking out. Like that's a level of danger involved, but it was also just that lack of good home training for, like my grandmother used to say, have that good home training. So when you go out in the streets, you know how to act, you're representing us. That was always the number one thing that my family would say. Remember, you're representing us. So you wanted to honor that, just like Marie was just sharing. The honor and respect is just not there. And the reason why I brought up Six Flags too is because to honor and respect that place. It's an amusement park. It's a place for families to go to enjoy themselves. And you coming to fight, that disrespected it and took away the honor of what it was meant to be.
Yeah, when you disconnect those roles in the household, by equalizing them using first names, and there's no clear distinction about, who's in charge. What you've done is opened your child up to be influenced by every negative force out there. And believe me, those forces are coming, and they're all negative. And your child will be in trouble. And there is that cycle, and it just continues and continues. But it begins at home. It begins with that critical foundational structure. And parents, if you are listening, you have to be a parent. And don't be afraid to say, I just don't know. Maybe you're young. Who knows everything? None of us do.
Oh my goodness, honey. Honey.
They don't come with manuals.
Honey. You just said a whole mouthful with the negative influences that's coming their way. And the reason why they're coming their way is because parents, I'm sorry, parents, but many of you all, especially in our Black and brown communities, support the bad behavior. And you keep supporting it when we're calling home and we're telling you about the behavior, and you're using profanity on us in front of your children. So now the child, that's a stamp of approval that I can keep on doing what I'm doing, because my mom is up here acting a fool because she is going off on the school because she believes my behavior is okay. So what message does that send to the child? I can keep on doing this because I know my mama's going to come up here and act a fool, because you don't know the detrimental side of it and the long-term effects that's going to happen down the road if you keep on co-signing on the bad behavior and you keep on ignoring and denying that there may be some challenges or some issues going on with your children. And it's not until, and I'm gonna say this again, and I know some people might be mad, somebody up here, Leandria Grant said, preach, train up a child in the way they should go. Yes, we said that. Listen, when 13, we're seeing it now in pre-K. Okay, we're seeing it in pre-K now. I'm gonna go on to pre-K.
Yes.
10,
Yes.
11, 4, and the child is acting a monkey in school, and you're cursing us out, and you're saying your child is not exhibiting any of these things at home. It's not the truth.
And
it's not the truth.
They got on a new pair of tennis shoes every other week.
Oh yeah. I can't forget about that. You're right.
Rewarding that
new
bad
pair of tennis shoes. Yes, rewarding the bad behavior.
Just reward the bad behavior. In the hall all day, won't go to anybody's class, but fresh. Woo, fresh.
Because I'm your friend. And as long as I'm your friend, we gonna be all right. Because if I'm your friend, you know, we cool like that, and we ain't gonna have no problems. No, but you're creating a monster down the road. And what happens is, and we're losing our young Black boys, our young Black girls to the streets. We are seeing a lot of our children dying. We just recently had one of our students die, and it was very unfortunate and very heartbreaking.
Yes.
Very heartbreaking. We're seeing our students going to jail. And that is not what I want to see. I don't want to see this happening, but it has to start at home. Schools, we can only do so much. We only have your children for so many hours in the day. And while we're impacting them during the day, they still got to come back to you, where you now need to be the reinforcer.
Right.
And if you had your child when you were young and you still want to be in the street, I'm sorry, but you're a parent now. You're responsible for a life, and you're responsible what's going to happen to that life based on what you instill in that child at home determines the direction that child is going to go in. So you
absolutely, Ellie.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Portia. Go ahead and finish.
Oh, no, go ahead. It's fine.
No, I was just seeing what Leandra's statement that children don't have any fear anymore and you can't tell them anything. She is so right. And that the village is the key. Yes, absolutely. So I had a couple of thoughts, even from the beginning of our discussion, that the way we were raised, ladies, it might be old school to them, but let's be real. What was not broken don't need to be fixed. It was not broken.
Right?
It was not broken.
We didn't like it.
Turned out great. We might not like yes, there were times that we did not like it. Okay.
Right.
And even in the raising of my nieces, I'm trying not to bring them into it, but they are my babies too. But they had a village, and they do have a village. And I think my oldest niece recognized how important that village was as she comes into adulthood. But it's important. And there was nothing wrong with the whole quote unquote old school way of raising children. Because let's be honest, we have to raise adults. I often look at every single child and think to myself, what kind of adult is this person going to become? Right. Who are you going to be? More than outside of, what career you choose. Of course, as a counselor, I'm concerned about that. But I'm also concerned about what kind of person are you going to become? And I don't know if parents are thinking that way necessarily. They're very short term in their thoughts about their child. So it goes back to their whole education
Yes.
being valuable and valued so that they can remember that. But if you're a friend, I don't know about y'all, but in school, my friends didn't care about me getting my education.
No.
No.
They didn't care. We like to talk and all of that, you know. I had to
Right.
remember that it was important to me and to my family. But it was also very important to my parents because they instilled that value in me. So if you are a parent, then you know you can do that. But if you're trying to be my friend, then no, you don't care about me making A's and B's or if I come to school every day or not.
You
Wow.
don't. And I like what you said about the village, right? Because when we grew up, the whole community could talk to you. They could reprimand you. They
Yes.
could,
Yes.
they can get you and then your parents would get you. But nowadays,
Yes.
there's no more community. Everybody
No.
is
Mm-mm.
to themselves. No one communicates with one another. You might live right next door to somebody, but you don't really know them. You don't talk to them. When I grew up, everybody knew me. They knew my family. I knew everybody on my block. And we were a community, but nowadays you don't have that as much or at all. Like no one is supporting one another. I think Courtney, you said it was important to know who supports you. And if you don't have the support, or if you didn't grow up with support, then how can you support your child if you didn't have the support?
Amen.
So that's where now we need to make sure, and I'm gonna say again, maybe we need to start some parenting one-on-one courses. That's gonna come real soon from Connected, y'all. I'm gonna go on and put it out there. Some parenting
Put it out
one-on-one
there.
courses. And they're gonna be free. You ain't gonna have to pay for it. Because I don't believe in that. Some things just need to be given. Everything is not about money. But we really need to take back control of our families. And if the
Yes.
mom is the only one in the home, then the mom needs to be the one that's taking control. And dads, even if you're not in the home, you need to be a part of your children's lives. You need to know what's going on. You need to know how, they're doing in class, their grades. I'm so sick of parents telling me they ain't received no report card. They didn't get this, they didn't get that. What are you talking about? You have access to all of these things.
Every day. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
When do
And
you
just like
care enough?
And perhaps some of them don't know that. That's why we need parents.
we have to parent and show them and teach
walk them
them.
through all of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk them through everything.
Yeah.
Show them. That's the purpose of Connected, is to bridge those gaps
Yes.
between parents.
Yeah. Listen, we're going to bridge some gaps, all right, and we're going to train and we're going to equip. Our job is to train and equip. And I believe we now have to retrain families.
Yes.
Because the family unit is broken.
Just that. That's why I was about to add on to Marie, just piggyback on what you were saying about the sense of family and community. And even if the parents are not in the same household, you are still a family unit. You're still a family unit. So behave and engage in that way that you are, I'm going to look at Leandra's comment. She says, scary to know that our children will one day be our doctors, lawyers, caregivers, and etc. I'm concerned as an educator and parent, and our lives are in their hands. Exactly. I think, again, like I said, I look at these kids and I'm wondering, okay, what kind of adult are you going to be? And I almost get fearful that we're not going to be able to retire because there's no one capable enough to be able to step into our shoes to do the work.
Right, because they don't have the mental capacity nor the emotional intelligence. So when you don't have the emotional intelligence to even have a conversation because you're always on 1,000, you're not taking the time to listen. You're not taking the time to understand, what the situation is. You're just ready to go in because you feel like someone did something. And children too, they mimic what they see. They do exactly what they see.
and they're so easily influenced.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter if you're an educator that's 22 or 52, they see us as old. And so what we say, it only goes so far.
Mhm.
And I just got to keep saying it, that critical foundational structure needs to be in place. So when that child leaves that household, they will have that, they'll be equipped with those skills that have been taught in the household, and they'll know how to behave and perform outside of the home.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Right. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree. Simone has a question here. She
Mhm.
says, do y'all think if they go to a 4-day school week, will it make things worse or better? Ooh, that's a good question, Simone. I'm all for, listen, my whole
It's a
thought,
loaded
and
question.
Courtney and Portia knows this. I am for reading, writing, math, and counseling, and then
Yeah.
home, period. Half a day.
Period.
Bye. Go home.
Days.
Because I think counseling is a big piece these days, especially after the pandemic. We're seeing a lot more mental illness, a lot more fractures in the home because of being, bottled up for so long and not being
Right.
able to socialize.
Mhm.
So my whole thought was when we come back to school, we needed to just focus on those areas, group counseling, reading, math, and writing, and that is it. Let's not even worry about the rest. Let's just go home.
Yeah.
4 or 5 days. I'm gonna piggyback on you, Marie. I've always said that pre-K to fifth grade, reading, writing, arithmetic, and nobody leaves. The motto should be nobody leaves middle school until they know how to read on
Oh,
grade level.
please.
Mhm.
Yes.
I am so frustrated with kids being passed on that can't read.
Yes.
And we don't have any reading classes per se. They're saying, oh, teach us through your class, your content classes. And no, we need robust, rigorous reading classes, and nobody needs to be promoted until they can read on grade level.
Right.
So 4 or 5 days, but do away with history, do away with science. They need to have the fundamental skills to be promoted. And if they can't, they should move. So that's 4 or 5 days. In the beginning, I guess 5. But no kid should progress through these grades without, learning how to do the fundamental things like reading and basic math. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're promoting future criminals by doing that.
Yeah.
You can't really accomplish anything without an education.
No.
Right.
I would like 4
Absolutely right.
days.
Me
Yeah, I would
too.
like the 4 days.
For
And
us, it's great. 4
yeah,
days is
right. But on that 5th day, either take your child to work, or if you're not working on that 5th day, then engage with them. You be the teacher for the day. What are some life skills that you could share with your child? So
Ooh,
yeah, I'm
honey,
all
you
for
you
4
about
days.
to open up a whole nother can of worms talking about what life skills you gonna share with your child. But how can I share life skills if I don't have any?
I know.
right.
I
If
know.
I'm in
I
need of
know.
life skills, which we've
So
seen in
maybe,
school, a lot of our parents need life skills.
yeah.
They do.
So maybe on that 5th day, we're opening up the school for the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be so nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like again, we got to meet the need, and
Need.
because they won't ask for help, we just got to automatically give it to them.
Yes.
And I
And
think
get them comfortable enough to where they will open up and begin to share with us what it is that they need, because we don't know. We can guess here and there, but parents are, they're afraid of us. We're educated people. So, they look at us as these elephants in these buildings that they really fear. That's why they cuss us out and come in
Yeah.
angry, because they're hiding behind the fact that they're not at our level. But we could care less. We want our children to win.
Yeah.
We
right.
want them to win.
I want to create students who are generation cycle breakers. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yes.
that. I think that's what keeps me
Generational
showing up.
curses gotta go.
Yes, I want
Right.
them broken. And that's why I walk in that, building every day, is to try to help guide them and see what do they need to be able to accomplish that. But I was just thinking, it takes a certain level of vulnerability to be a parent.
Uh-huh.
So, Portia, I think what you were saying about being okay with sharing the need or saying I need help, that's a vulnerable thing. And it takes a lot for people, especially Black people. To be honest, Black and brown people, it takes a lot for us to be
Absolutely.
vulnerable with others outside of our, circles. And our circles can be very small at times. But I just need parents to understand that those circles
Or
of
outside of our
friendships cannot include. Right, right. But those circles can include our children. They're not our friends.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, honey. They cannot include your children. I like what you saying, vulnerable, and just having an awareness. And because we know that our communities suffer from so much trauma, so much hurt, so many things that's going on with our families, it's very hard to be vulnerable because we've built up these walls, we've built up these defense mechanisms, and we don't know who to trust and how to trust, or when to even trust, or if it's safe enough to trust, because we've been so beat down and broken. And so, and that's why I say we have to just meet needs when we see a need, and not just push people away, not just say, well, that's not my problem, that's not my area, that's not my responsibility, but actually going the extra mile. It doesn't take but a second to get some information and share the information with a parent if they need it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I want all parents to feel comfortable enough that when we share information, it's given with love. I want to see you be great, just like I want to see your kid be great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. Whew.
Yeah, heavy, deep, heavy, heavy and deep, y'all. Heavy and deep, y'all. We only got about 3 more minutes, everyone. We thank you for tuning in. Let us share our last thoughts, or any last thoughts that you would like to type in the chat for us. We really appreciate it. And if you feel like this will help someone else, please share our video with someone that would benefit from hearing this conversation. Next month, we will be discussing testing and preparing you to get ready for testing, and all that things that surround testing: anxiety, stress, worry. So we'll be sharing tips and tools. And Portia and Courtney, let me hear your last thoughts.
I want to say what Sharon said. She said, this is great. Y'all should bring kids and other parents on as guests.
Yes,
I like it.
absolutely,
I like it.
Sharon. We are in the works of doing that right now.
Yep. Just
My
stay
last
tuned.
thought is I feel like after this discussion that we need to reach out to the parents. We have to make the first step. That's what I've concluded from our discussion this evening. Our parents don't know. We know how, because we can see how they behave. Look, when we done begged, pleaded, and to get them in the building. So maybe we have to take the first step and reach out to our parents. We may have to go into their communities. Just a thought.
I totally agree, Portia, with you that we're gonna, just as Marie has been saying most of the night, we see the need, we have to meet the need, and that may be the case. We may have to take that first step to move towards them, to see what it is that they may need from us. And I see you, Simone. Yes, the bad kids too, of course.
The bad kids.
We'll have them on the show.
Especially the bad kids.
Especially the bad kids. The bad kids have voice.
Yes.
Just like all kids do. And we want to be able to give them voice. So, of course, we will include them.
And
that's-
believe it or
there's
not, the
pain
bad
behind
kids
that.
really make a lot of sense. When you sit down and
Oh,
talk
yeah,
to
they
them,
do.
they have a lot of sense, and they make a lot of great points.
And there's
They
pain
do.
behind that behavior
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah. There's
acting
a lot
out.
of pain for our kids.
Yes.
Absolutely. I just want our parents to know that you are not alone in this. There are adults that you can come to for support, like us. And we want to help you better understand how to be a really good parent and to your child so that your child can go off and do great things and be a great representation of you. So use us, use us, use us, use us. But your
Mhm.
kids are not your friends, not until they get adults.
Wow, this has been an amazing, amazing show. As always, ladies, you are phenomenal. I'm so happy to be on this platform with you too. And Charlotte in her absence. We just want someone, Simone said, no, seriously, this is good. Y'all are on to something. I see conferences, panels at school, etc. Baby, you know it, baby. Come on
Speak
and speak it,
it.
Simone. We didn't already put it out there, but thank you, baby. Come on and prophesy over us too. Uh, Thank you. We love you. And if you guys didn't know, Simone is a young woman who has started her own organic ice cream company called Elise
Yes.
Organic Ice Cream. And you
Mhm.
can get your ice cream at the market. Simone, drop the market on in the chat, please. Where you are every
Yes.
Saturday. She has won an
Yeah.
award for her ice cream. And I'm just
Oh
super duper
my gosh.
proud of this young woman doing great things. Black girl magic. Simone, if you're still on, please drop the market because I don't want to say the wrong market of where you are on Saturdays. So I'm super
Mhm.
proud of that young woman. I want to have her come into our school and talk to our young people,
Yes.
and just to encourage them. But in my final remarks, I just want to say thank you all. We love you. Remember that we connect people, we connect the schools, and we connect community. We're bridging the gap between all three, and we're forging the way and being trailblazers and making a difference where we can and impacting the lives of the people that we love and cherish, which are our parents and our students and their communities. So, on that
Mhm.
note, we want to just wish you a good evening, and we're going to say good night as we sign off. Uh,
A
uh,
good morning side
oh,
farmers market.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
We're
Thank
gonna
you,
come see you,
Simone.
Simone.
So
We got it,
yes,
Simone.
and everybody that watches this video, honey, I'm gonna know about your organic ice cream Morningside Farmers Market, y'all.
I'm
Y'all need to
going.
go
I'm
see
going.
her.
Yep.
Very beautiful spirit, and she engaged too, y'all. Uh,
Congratulations.
so just know I love y'all and have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye, everybody.